Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. In this video I'm going to be doing a full face of first impressions. So I've got a whole bunch of new makeup products to try out, and I have to say I'm getting really damn tired of looking super ugly in all my videos and the makeup just not going right. So I'm going to make a conservative effort to look nice in this video by the end of it because I'm feeling a bit insecure about myself. So I've got all the products to try in here. So I've not got every single thing for a full face. I've not got an eyeshadow palette, and I've not got any like cheap products, so like bronzer, highlighter, that sort of thing. But everything else I've got. So I've got foundation, concealer, powder, lipstick, eyebrows, mascara, eyeliner. I've got the majority of it. It's just cheap products really that I'm lacking. I've got a lot of products here that I'm really excited to try, particularly the base products. I've got the new L'Oreal Infallible, the matte foundation, which I'm gagging to try. Finally got the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, 05, and then I've also finally got the new Infinite Concealers from Revolution. So I am actually going to start with the Revolution concealers because I like to test them out in my eye area before I do any of my regular base makeup. So let's zoom in so you can see all of my lovely bags and lines, and I'm just looking extra Victorian orphany today. So yeah, these are the new Revolution Infinite Conceal and Define Concealers. So I got 0.2 and then 0.3, the idea being that 0.2 to brighten, 0.3 to just match the rest of my face. I'm just gonna use 0.2 because that's the one I would use in my eye area. So yeah, it's quite a pale yellow shade, as you can see. It's almost like a sort of banana colour corrector kind of shade. So I've obviously tried the Concealer Define Concealer as well as the Hydrate one. I prefer the Define one. It's not my favourite concealer, but I think it's like a decent concealer. Like, I think it's one of the better drugstore ones, but it's not my favourite. Okay, so that is your side by side there. It's definitely a very good brightening shade. So in terms of coverage, I think that is really good coverage. If I'm being honest, I think my e.l.f. concealer is a bit more, but like I feel like that's pretty good coverage. I'll just look up. Let me just get side by side here, and I'll look up. And then I'll look down. I am impressed with it, actually. I do think it's like, I think it's like a low fold coverage. That's what I describe it as. Like, it's absolutely fine, suits me perfectly well. I'd say that the formula, it is more of a matte sort of dry concealer. I'm not finding it like super drying, but I do think if you had dry skin you might not like it so much. It does settle like into my creases and stuff. It's not the worst for that, it's not the best for it, but all concealers do kind of settle, you know, up there and then like right under. It's just something that I can't avoid even with the best concealers. I feel like it is settling under my eyes a bit more than the average concealer would, but I think it will look nicer over the top of foundation just because of the more drying aspect of it. I mean, I don't think it's a super drying concealer, but it's just more dry than like the average concealer. I think the e.l.f. Camo Concealer is better coverage. I'm still debating if I want to try the e.l.f. Hydrating one. First of all, I can't find the shade that I want on Superdrug. See, I'm not against, even though I prefer more matte skin, I'm not against a hydrating concealer because when I think of my favourite concealers, not all of them are matte. Like, some are more hydrating, like the Too Faced one is quite hydrating and I really like that one. So I think I may get the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer, but I need to wait until I can get the shade that I want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my other eye, and I'm going to make a base for some eyeshadow. I haven't got an eyeshadow to try, but I do just want to do some eyeshadow off camera because I've got palettes that I need to play around with before I do updated makeup reviews on them. Okay, we're back with eyeshadow MAC Flamboyant palette. Now I'm going to move on to eyeliner. So I bought two of these, so these are the Revlon Colorstay Micro Hyper Precision Gel Eyeliners, and I got the black one and then I got the brown one. So they're basically like kohl liners, but they're supposed to be super skinny. I haven't even taken the packaging off these yet. So yeah, they're just super thin eyeliners. They're kind of like, you know, micro brow pencils, but obviously they're eyeliners, and oh, they seem quite creamy and pigmented. That's good. Sometimes I feel like twisty up eyeliners aren't always like creamy, but These seem quite... Okay, the brown one is creamier than the black one. The black one's a bit stiffer, but they're both pretty pigmented from swatching. So I'm going to put the black one in my waterline. My idea was that you would use the black on the waterline and then the brown to kind of smudge on my lash line, but I've done quite a smoky look today, so I'm not sure how well that's going to show up, but I'll probably give it a go. But I'm just putting the black one on my waterlines. I'm not the biggest fan of that. That was really stiff, quite difficult to apply, and it didn't feel the nicest to apply. The pigmentation is okay, it's not the best. I'm not so sure about that. The brown one definitely felt creamier when I was swatching it. The black one, I'm not loving that. So I think I will use the brown one and just put a bit of it on my actual lash line. Yeah, I can already tell that just is a bit more flexible. Both of them do keep snapping. Okay, that's enough, I think. Yeah, I like the effect of the brown one. I want to see what that looks like when I've not got like eyeshadow on under it. So I'm not so sure about both of them. I prefer the brown one, but even that I felt like it's still gonna be. It was creamier than the black one, but it's not the most creamy. It was a little like stiff to apply, but I kind of like the effect of it though. So for mascara, I've got the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift Mascara, the one that's kind of their most recent one. It's got a nice hourglass wand. I do like an hourglass wand. So I've heard good things about this, so I'm just going to go ahead and coat the lashes to death, well, the top ones anyway, and see what sort of volume we get. I do think it's been like a little bit overhyped. I think that's pretty good though, like it's got good volume and good length. I'm pretty impressed with it, but is it the best mascara I've ever found? No, I still feel like I have ones even from last month, like the Revlon one and some of the Catrice ones. Collection Lash Surge is still my ultimate favourite. I don't feel like it's quite on that level, but I do think it's like a decent mascara. There's definitely some volume and some length there, so I am impressed with it, I would say. I like it, but is it the most voluminous one out there? Whether that be drugstore or high-end? No, but I think it's pretty good. So we're going to move on to the base now. The first thing I've got for that is the Flower Beauty Supernova Celestial Skin Elixir, which is the glowy primer. It looks absolutely stunning in the bottle. It's got a very, like, botanical sort of smell. Okay, so this is like super dewy and hydrating. If I'm being honest, it might be a little bit too much for me. I don't want to look like a complete and utter oil slick with a primer. I just kind of like a more subtle sort of glow. Maybe a bit too much for me. I'm going to let it sort of sink into my skin, and it might, once it absorbs, it might look a bit nicer. If you like a super dewy, hydrating, glittery sort of primer, then that's great. Okay, so I've been letting it sit on my skin for a bit and it's still just looking so dewy. I've sort of just been tapping it in with a sponge, which is starting to minimise it a bit. I think that primer is just a bit too much for me personally, because I don't like my skin to be super oily looking. I just like a sort of subtle shimmer, like the e.l.f. Glow Lotion that I tried in January. It's a bit more up my street than this. Oh, but the foundation we've got to try is allegedly matte, so that may help us out a bit. So the second I saw this was announced, I knew I needed it. So this is the new L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour matte cover. I got the shade 90 Porcelain Rose, which I think is the lightest shade. I'm not 100% sure. So I absolutely love the original L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. I love that. It's one of my favourite foundations of all time. So when I saw there's a matte one, and generally I do prefer a matte foundations, I was like, okay, that could potentially be amazing for me. The shade is quite fair actually. I'm gonna try it without white mixer. Let's just go straight in for this. I think the colour could be okay. It's maybe not 100% the right undertones, but it will do. Okay, so it's actually a bit too light for me, which is shocking. Pleasant surprise, I guess. I feel like the undertones maybe are a little bit, I feel like they're kind of neutral, maybe a tiny bit pink, I don't really know, but it's definitely different to my neck, so I'm gonna have to put a lot of bronzer on, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. The powder might darken it, it might even lighten it, I have no idea. But what do I think of it? I think it's got pretty decent coverage. I would say it's like a high medium coverage, I think is what I'd describe it as. Totally meets my preferences. Just got foundation on my jeans. Fantastic. I like it. I like the finish. I think I'd like this better without the primer on under it, to be honest, because I'm not really liking how oily that made me. So I will have to obviously try this. I'm going to try this loads, obviously, but without the primer. I think it looks pretty nice on the skin. I wouldn't say it looks too heavy or too cakey. I don't feel like it's like super See, I can't really comment on this too much because I feel like the primer like super hydrated my skin. And I think it'd probably look more matte if I didn't have that primer on. But right now I feel like it looks more sort of semi-matte, but it's definitely not dewy or anything. It's just I feel like it looks a bit dewy because of the primer. So I need to try it without it. But I can imagine it probably would be more of a matte finish without the primer, but like right now I feel like it looks sort of semi-matte because obviously there's definitely radiance coming through from the primer, which is fine if that's what you want, but I like it. I don't think it looks super heavy. So far I like it. The L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear wears amazingly on my skin, so hopefully the formula is similar in terms of that with wear. Go back to the Infinite Concealers from Revolution, so I'm going to use 0.2 just under my eyes, blob some of that on. See, I think this is actually darker than the foundation. I don't know, it's hard to tell because there's different sort of undertones. Okay, and I'm going to use 0.3 on my nose. It's not really that much darker, to be honest, only like a little bit. I'm just put that around my mouth and my nose just to get a bit more coverage. Yeah, I definitely think I like how those concealers look better over the top of foundation. Just added some coverage. They don't look too dry. It's creasy under the eyes, obviously. But I like them. Okay, so for setting powder I've got this, which I'm really excited to use. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. The shade is 05 Fair / Claire. Does that mean fair in like French or something? Or I don't know. So in the UK we don't have this in like Superdrug or Boots or anything, but you can get this on Amazon. I will put a link to it below. It is a bit more expensive to get it on Amazon than it would be if it was just in Boots or Superdrug, but we don't have that option. So I did have to pay quite a bit for it. I can't remember off the top of my head. I feel like it was probably about, I don't know, 14 at the most. So I'm hoping that it's good because I did pay quite a lot to get it, but a few people in my comments recommended it, so here's hoping that it's good. So it definitely does have a tint to it. Hopefully it's pale enough. I mean, my face is already pretty pale right now, so it doesn't actually matter too much if it darkens it. I'm just going to tap out my creases and then set it with my little mini sponges under my eyes and a brush on the rest of my face. Okay, so it's definitely not made me darker or anything. I still look like a ghost, so it definitely works for fair skin, that's for sure. It did go like a tiny bit patchy, just kind of where I was applying it with the sponge and then switching to the brush, the sort of like contrast between the two. So I think maybe I'd need to try a different method of applying this. So it's a little bit weird on my nose as well. I think in some places though it's really nice. I feel like it does have a bit of coverage to it, which is good. I like the colour. I don't know, I'm not mad about the finish, but I think it could be like the base products I'm using it with. So obviously we'll keep trying that with different things, but that could be quite a nice powder. I'm not loving how it's looking today with what I've got on already. So as I said, I've not actually got any cheek products to try out, so I'm just going to do that off camera quickly and I'll be back with cheeks on. Okay, cheeks are done, so moving swiftly on. So I've got the Revolution Brow Gel with Nourishing Avocado Oil in dark brown. So I've tried the Revolution Pro one, I tried the Revolution one that's got cannabis sativa in it in my last video, and now I've just got the original Revolution Brow Gel which came out recently. So I have no idea if they're all the same product. I felt like the one with cannabis sativa in it was very similar to the Revolution Pro one. And my issue with both of them really is they're just a bit too pigmented, a bit too much excess. So I have no idea if this is going to be any different or not. The colour looks the same, it's just a very dark brown bordering on black, which is a bit darker than what I normally would go for. But they've only got 3 shades, and I just knew that the medium one would be too light, so it's just like they really need some more shades, definitely. And I can already tell it's got the same problem with the excess product. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you now that all 3 of those brow gels are basically the same product. They've all got the exact same wands. I love the shape of the wand. It's just the actual product itself I'm not sure about, but we'll see if this was any different. But so far it seems like it's the same sort of thing, so I've wiped off most of that excess. Even like it just feels the same as the others, and I'm just gonna brush this through my brows. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's done what I wanted it to. It's just the fact that I've had to wipe off all of that to get there, and I still need some pencil to define the arch a bit more. Just using an MUA, that's not MUA. I'm just using my MUA, that's, fuck's sake. Okay. I'm just using my MUA micro brow pencil just to define the arch a bit more. But I'm telling you now, all 3 of those products are the exact same thing. Don't be silly and buy them all like I've done. You don't need to. Just get one, they're all the same really. I mean, if you don't mind like quite heavy pigment and lots of excess, then fine. But it's just a bit too much for me. But like, it's actually fine when it's on the brows. Don't know what to say, it's the same product as the other 2 and I've already spoken about those. It's just, I don't hate it, but I just have ones I prefer. I mean, I may as well just finish the rest of the eyes off camera, and then we'll finish off with lips. Okay, so the last thing I've got to try, this is the Revolution Pro New Neutral Satin Matte Lipstick in the shade Latte. And I think I've tried these before. Well, I mean, they have the same packaging, so I assume they're the same thing, but they released like a load of new shades of it. And I really liked the original ones. So this one is in the shade Latte, and it's like quite a vampy brown sort of colour. The packaging is a bit different. This one's like got a sort of rose gold colour. This one's just straight up gold, but I think they're the same product. I'm not sure now. They've got the same leopard print thing going. So that's what the shade looks like. It looks beautiful, like just a brown. I don't know if it's actually more of a brown nude, not a vampy one. I don't know why I said it was vampy, but it looks absolutely up my street. So I'm just going to shove this on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the same sort of thing as the other ones. It feels the same sort of formula. Creamy, but kind of like matte as well. Really like the shade. So that is everything tried, I believe. So I'm just going to sort my hair out and I'll be back. Okay, so we're back. This is the finished look. So overall, what do I think? Okay, so the primer I'm not too keen on. It's just a little bit too oily for my liking. The foundation I quite like. The concealers I quite like. The powder I like. The powder I'm not sure about right now. I think as it's kind of settled on the skin it looks a bit better, but I just think the way I've applied it maybe wasn't the best way. So I don't know, I'll look into that some more. I quite like the mascara. I'm not so sure about the eyeliner pencils. I think the brown one's okay, but the black one in the waterline, not so sure about. Really like the lipstick. Eyebrow gel is just the same as the other Revolution ones. They're okay. Once you wipe the excess off, it performs alright, but it's just, I don't know, it just puts me off when there's so much excess. The colour's a little bit dark. I mean, it looks fine actually, but I don't know, it's just not my favourite brow gel. So mixed thoughts on what we've tried today, but everything that I have tried today I'm going to keep using over the next month or two, and I will do a updated review. So that'll be my March updated review, which I'll probably get up at the beginning of May, I want to say, just so I have enough time to use the products as much as I can. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.